Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, we're in the studio. We are live, so do get involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think about all the latest Manchester United news. And if you're not doing already, hit that like button and give us a subscribe. We want to get to 750,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and with your support, yes, your support, we can get there. Let's get the subscribers going up. Loads of people already in the chat and the comments. A few stories to go through. We've got, obviously, the shortlist. There's a four-man shortlist of people to potentially take over from Erik Ten Hag. I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it again. I don't want to see him gone. I want to see us stick with him. But Ineos may have different ideas, and I don't call any form of shots at Manchester United. It looks like they're looking at potential successors, so we'll get into all that. Tuchel apparently is in the running for the race, according to the Guardian, so we'll get into that. We'll also be looking at potential incomings. We'll link with a Barcelona defender and also someone from Atalanta too. So make sure you are hitting that like button and let's get into it, shall we? Loads of people in the comments already. Jakoya Trot, Akash K, Martin P. Who else is in there? Jays Parker, Mika, Witterbird Vicky is in there as well. Santa Notch is in there. Good to see all the usual faces and some new ones as well. Let's get into this first one then. This four-man shortlist. You can see it here. Revealed. And is this the Mirror? On the Mail, sorry. Oh, the Mail. Man United's four-man shortlist to replace Erik Ten Hag. If the Dutchman leaves this summer after a difficult campaign at Old Trafford, Manchester United have endured a difficult and chaotic campaign. Yeah, we know that. Erik Ten Hag's come under significant pressure, blah, 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 blah. It goes on to say here, so this has come from the Times. According to the Times, United, who could still end the campaign with a trophy if they beat City in the FA Cup final on Saturday, are eyeing up four potential candidates if they do decide to dispense with Ten Hag. That's a bit odd, isn't it? If they do decide. If they've not made their minds up yet. This is so weird that United are sort of, according to some reports, I had this last night when we were talking about this conversation that apparently is taking place between the club and Kieran McKenna's representatives, that United are waiting to see what happens in the FA Cup final. And I've spoken about this several times. It just strikes me as very odd that you don't know yet. And if United win the FA Cup final, then you're going to keep him. But if we lose, then he's gone. Now, I understand that every manager has a game that is a breaking point, a make or break game. I spoke about this yesterday. Fergie, Forest in 1990. Ollie, you could argue the Europa League final sort of did for him. Maybe you will go a little bit further and say it was the Liverpool game. Jose was never the same for me at United after the Sofia game. There's always one game where you think that was a turning point. So I understand that. It just seems a little bit odd that it comes down to this definitive game. This is it. This is it. And that game is against Manchester City in the FA Cup final. You don't know how it's going to pan out. You can lose that game and play really well and just be unlucky. And on the flip side, you can be really lucky, play badly and get a win. I'd certainly prefer that, personally, out of those two choices. So it just seems a little bit odd. It says here, no decision has been made on the Dutchman's future, which is set to be considered after the final, although the result of the showpiece event won't have a bearing. That makes more sense. If they don't know, if that the result isn't going to be the be-all and end-all for them. Because you think they know already. It just seems a little bit strange what's going on here. However, if they do change direction, Mauricio Pochettino, who left Chelsea by mutual consent on Tuesday, is one potential target. Who have we got on this shortlist then? So you've got Pochettino, you've got Tuchel. There's two on the shortlist. Who else have we got? If we scroll down, there we go. So we've got Tuchel, we've got Pochettino. Yeah, is there more? There we go. Thomas, Frank and Kieran McKenna. So those are your four candidates. Now, they're all flawed, aren't they? Let's have it right. Pochettino, he's never won. I know he won the league, didn't he, in France, but he's never really won anything where you go, wow, he's done well there. Got to a Champions League final, wasn't really in it. Finished third in a two-horse race when he was at Spurs. Even finished second in his first season in Paris. I know he sort of took over when they were 2 points off top, I think. He took over from Tuchel. He's done okay. He seems like a safe pair of hands, Pochettino. And ironically, it's kind of turned things around at Chelsea, hasn't it? Just before he got the bullet. Thomas Frank has done well at Brentford, but where did they finish? The sort of bottom half of the table. I mean, again, he seems like a decent manager, but has he done anything where you go, that's amazing? I mean, he took Brentford to 16th this season. It's good for them. And considering the injuries he had and the fact he had Ivan Toney missing for 6 months, I think he deserves credit. But is that enough for you to go, he's the guy to take over at Manchester United? Kieran McKenna, who's probably the one who's done the most recently in terms of back-to-back promotions, but those trophies and those achievements have happened outside the Premier League. 38 years old, I think, still very young, has done well, but it's outside the Premier League, and is that enough to get you the Manchester United job and for you to come into Manchester United and to be able to take charge? I wouldn't mind McKenna. I think he's a very, very good coach, and there's a chance he might be an amazing manager, and we're just getting him on the cusp of him sort of taking off. But it's unlikely. So is it worth the gamble? Who was the other one? So it's Frank, Tuchel, McKenna and Pochettino. That was it, wasn't it? Tuchel, the most successful, won loads of trophies, got to a Champions League final with PSG, won the Champions League with Chelsea, won the German Cup, I think, with Dortmund, won titles with PSG. Very good manager, can win your trophies, but is in decline. He's like the opposite of McKenna. McKenna's stars on the rise. I think Tuchel's is slightly fading, because you look at what season he's had at Munich. Finished third. Bayern Munich finishing third. That's shocking. Also, didn't win out. First time in 12 years or 11 years, whatever it is, they've not won anything. Did okay in the Champions League, got to the semi. Again, though, that ended up being a bit of a stick to beat him with, because he made some errors there, I feel, in that game, in the Champions League game, where he took off Harry Kane with the game still sort of in the balance. So let me know what you think. Who out of those four, if any, would you prefer? Or, like me, would you rather be stuck with Erik ten Hag? Doesn't sound great for Erik ten Hag at a minute, does it? There's lots of these rumours, reports that United are talking to this manager, United have got a shortlist. I don't know. I get the impression that you can dismiss a lot of him. It's just paper talk. It's mischief making. It's journalists who don't know what they're on about. But then there's quite a lot saying different things that all indicate Ineos are looking at a different manager than Erik ten Hag. Let me know what you think. Greg Foss says, keep Erik ten Hag, next best option, McKenna. I agree with that. Dale, Erik ten Hag won't be going, and all this news is a waste of time, our kid. Dale says there. I didn't even know we were related, but fair play. Akash K says, McKenna needs to be smart and go to Brighton. Faraz Khan says, let's get your opinion, Jay. Okay. 1, what would you do with Erik ten Hag? Well, I wouldn't do out with him. I'd leave him as United manager. 2, if they get rid of him, who would you ideally replace him with? Very good question. If we had to get rid of Erik ten Hag, I'd take a punt, mate. I don't want us to get rid of him. If we had to get rid of him, I'd take a punt on McKenna. I know he's not managing the Premier League. I know it's a big step up for going from Ipswich in the Championship. I know he's took him into the Premier League to go into managing Manchester United. I know he's only 38 years old, but why not? If we're going to roll the dice, let's roll it properly and just have a proper gamble. Hey, let me know what you think. No one cares what I think. I want to know what you think. Mike Fergus has asked me a question. Jay, what is McKenna's style of play and formation? I think it's 4-2-3-1. I ain't got a jar of glue. Mick Holohan says, morning, Jay, and the chat. Vicky says, Jay, do you ever think that Ineos are not interested in the fans' point of view? Potentially. They potentially could not be interested in the fans' point of view. I mean, they have this fans forum, didn't they? They met with the likes of Must. There was a little bit of a chat there. Maybe they're sort of paying lip service. Maybe that's just them showing that they care about the fans of actually doing it. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I get the impression, I'll tell you one thing there. They care more about the fans' point of view than the Glazers did. The Glazers didn't care at all. I think that Ineos do at least give some sort of consideration to the fans' point of view. How much that goes, I don't know. Will they listen to the fans if the fans have an opinion on the next manager? Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. Ben Gorst Wright says, Jay, I'm worried McKenna won't have the juice to keep the job for a season if he struggles out of the gate. I get that. I really do. Daniel Howe says, Jay, get off the fence, tell us your preference. Daniel, I just literally said Kieran McKenna. James Barry says, Unai should be considered. He ain't going to come. He ain't going to come at all. He's not going to leave Villa, where he's building something. He's got him into the Champions League to come into a club. And United are a much bigger club than Aston Villa, let's not forget. But he's building something there. He's doing well. Is he going to leave when he's just got him into the Champions League and come to Manchester United? I don't see it happening. He should do. I think going from Villa to United is a step up, but I don't think he will. Fergal McClement says, progression isn't linear. United managers will never be allowed to progress. If every time we stumble, they jump and sack, it makes me sad. David O'Connor says, Emery just signed a new deal. Andy James says, I'm sick of this club. Erik ten Hag in. Akash K says, get super duper Mick. LMAO. Shadow Side says, Erik ten Hag has showed too little tactical nous. Now, Stephen, to keep his job. I'm totally ambivalent to Erik. Fair enough. Santa Notch says, Emery may not want to come. Many managers may not want to come. I agree with that. Let's see what Jamie Jackson's saying in The Guardian. Thomas Tuchel, the front runner for Manchester United, if Erik ten Hag is sacked. Well, he's going big on that. I like Jamie Jackson. He knows his stuff. This is from yesterday. He said that Thomas Tuchel has emerged as the front runner. Should the club decide on a change? This is the big thing. Should the club decide on a change? Are the club going to change things? If we do, then, yeah, Thomas Tuchel is going to be the answer to our problems. Jesus Christ said, it's not the Jesus Christ, but someone in the comments who's called himself Jesus Christ says, it's like we've learned nothing. Sad, really. On the eve of an FA Cup final, this is what Ineos are making us do. Erik ten Hag is clear of any available manager. Mike Fergus says, we should go for Rooney. I think Mike Fergus is having a giggle. Joe Corcoran says, lads, I've watched Tuchel in successive jobs. As soon as there's a run of losses, it's the club didn't sign me the players I've wanted. I think Tuchel is a good manager, and I think if you got him in a one-off game, or if you go in a final trophy, you might fancy him to go up against someone like Pep Guardiola or like Mikel Arteta. I think he's a very talented manager. Longer term, though, is he that guy? I'm not so sure. Akash K says Tuchel picks fights too much. I don't know if I read this. Akash K says, please tell me why you have talks to replace a manager when you are undecided on the current one. I'm convinced, this is pure BS. K says, what a SHIT show from Ineos. Keeping Erik ten Hag for a year was a bloody tapping. Erik ten Hag stopped his talks with Bayern because he wanted United. What else have we got? We're in for this kid from Barcelona. It says here, where's this come from? The fateful MUFC have said Man United prepared to agree big fee and terms to sign £68 million. Start close to moving. If you scroll down, you'll see Man United are prepared to agree a big fee and terms to sign Araújo, who is close to moving away from Barcelona. I have my doubts about this one. I'm not casting aspersions on this website. I know the Faithful have been going for years and do have a lot of good stories, and also they follow a lot of stories that are doing the rounds on the continent and get them sort of stood up and whatnot. So I'm not saying that they've not done their due diligence. I have my doubts about whether United are gonna fork out a load of money for Ronald Araújo from Barcelona. What is it, 68 million they're saying there? We were hearing the other day that United have to sort of sell to buy as well, that we've only got a few million. Well, not a few million. I think Chris Wheeler said 35 million. I expect us to have more than that. Do I see us going out and spending 68 million on Ronald Araújo? I'm not so sure. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think about this kid? Do you know much about him? Is he good? I wouldn't say kid, he's 25. I think this sounds very, very unlikely. Let's move on, actually. United and Liverpool want Tuchel Koopmeiners from Atalanta. This is from Football 365. It says United are on red alert. Over £43 million Liverpool target is Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He's furious with Chelsea. So we see here, Manchester United have been put red alert over one of their top transfer targets this summer, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been left furious by a potential Chelsea hijack. Has he though? Has he really? Is he absolutely raging because he's heard that Chelsea are in for a player that United might be interested in, even though we don't even know who our manager's going to be? Right, I mean, I think this is all just nonsense. Man United battle Liverpool for Europa League star. One player on their radar is Koopmeiners, who played a key role in Atalanta's Europa League win over Bayer Leverkusen on Wednesday and has been attracting Premier League interest for some time. Reports earlier this month suggest Liverpool had stolen a match on their rivals, with compatriot Arne Slot's arrival at the club a determining factor in his transfer. It's thought Atalanta could settle on a fee between €45 million and 50 million. Although, after originally demanding 60 million from interesting clubs. They don't mess about Atalanta. They get decent money. They've had decent money offers, haven't they, for players? Was it up to 37 million for Amad Diallo? Also, Rasmus Højlund, I think, was 70 million quid after one good season at Atalanta. So they're not a club that sells players on the cheap. Be interesting to see what happens with Koopmeiner. He's obviously a good player. They've done well. Won there. Is it their first trophy in about 100 years or something? I'm not sure. I think it's one of the first trophies in a long time. Beating that Leverkusen side who've not been beaten all season and beating them convincingly. Lookman looked like prime R9, didn't he, in that game? Aaron says, can we get a react to vidmail link so we can send in our video messages? Just seen City using it for tomorrow's game. Very cool. If you want to send in video messages, right, send them to this channel for the watch along tomorrow. Send us your score predictions to paddockmatchday@gmail.com. Film yourself like that. Yep, in landscape. 30 seconds score prediction for the FA Cup final. Send it us and we'll use that as part of our pre-match build-up. And thank you for your first super chat, Aaron. Jesus Christ is back again. Says, keeping Erik Ten Hag, then allowing McKenna a year in the Prem before moving in would have been perfect. I thought we were past this mismanagement from Ineos. So he's saying, give Erik Ten Hag another year. Let Kieran McKenna have a year in the Premier League, and then maybe appoint Kieran McKenna if Erik Ten Hag doesn't smash it in that final year. There's a link in the chat, or you can see in the chat there, pinned comment about the sending in your videos for the pre-match build-up, your score predictions. Kid called James Scanlon signed his first pro contract with United. One to look out for. There's a headline you don't see every day. Gibraltar International signs deal with Manchester United after a stunning season. Wasn't Danny Higginbottom who played for Gibraltar as well? Or am I getting that completely wrong? Good to see young players doing well and getting their first deal. One to keep an eye on for the future. The academy team have been doing very, very well this season. Bruno Fernandes has just posted something, right? And when I saw it, I nearly had a heart attack. The day United. I thought, oh my God, don't tell me he's going. It was like a link. He's done an interview with the Players Tribune. I love the Players Tribune. They always get really good in-depth interviews with players. And he's just talking about basically being at Manchester United, the difficulties this season, how much he loves the club, what it's been like with his kids as well. I think he's got his son, wasn't even born yet when he arrived here, and his daughter Matilda was only 3. And they enjoy watching the United game, and they sing Glory Glory United in the car, Glory Glory Man United. And it ends with, I know it's not been easy, I know it's not been to our standard, but we're on our way to Wembley. Get behind us one more time. Your captain, Bruno Fernandes. Listen, I love Bruno Fernandes, and I think the whole chat about, oh, is he good enough? He's right, got the right attitude? Would we be better off without him? It's absolutely insane. We would be in a right pickle if it wasn't for Bruno Fernandes. He's easily been our best signing post Sir Alex Ferguson by a country mile. There's not even anyone else who comes close, in my opinion. I think he's a very good player. I think he's a good captain. I know some people may disagree. And he's one of the few players we've got who can actually create something out of nothing. And he always gives his all. Plus, there's the fact he's hardly ever injured. We missed 2 games, I think it was, with him recently. And that's the first 2 games he's missed from injury since he's been at the club. And you could see how much we missed him in those 2 games as well. So I'm fully on board with what Bruno's saying. I think he does the right things and he says the right things. He's asking for the fans to get behind him. I'll be there at Wembley, getting behind the club and the team. And if you can get down there, great. And if you're going to be there, hope you have a safe trip. If not, don't worry, because Stretford Paddock have got you covered. You can join us for the watch along. We're going to have Ronaldo Brown. You're going to have Andy Tate. I think Ryan Upper's joining us. I think Kofi B is going to be on it as well. Plus, we'll be getting all the reaction from the likes of Adam McCullough, Stephen Alson, myself, Joe Smith. We'll all be giving you our reaction. A lot of us will be down there at Wembley, but that won't stop us getting involved in the content for the day. So if you're not doing already, make sure you are hitting that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. We want to get to 750,000 subscribers. We've got more content coming up today as well. We've got the brew later on. Plus, we'll be previewing that big game as well. I'm just going to get through some of the comments. Jace Parker says, up the RH. Cavall123 says, my son loves Fernandes, Garnacho, Hoyland and Mainu. My son loves all them players as well. Buffy whatever says, hey, it'll be a sunny day if nothing else. Sunny day out, sorry, if nothing else. Witterbird Vicky says, Bruno is the best January transfer of all time. Ooh, big statement there. Is he? Nemanja Vidic and Patrice Evra might have something to say about that. I mean, it's definitely worth a conversation, that. James Barry, he's replying to someone else there. Stephanie Griffith says, 105 likes, thumbs up, now to 103. I'm going to leave it there. Now to 113. Can't go up to 103 from 105. Get a grip. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And back later on. I'll be Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. Thank you to everyone who got involved in the chat and the comments. And thank you for watching.